Hi, I'm Natalie and we continue making leaves, maple leaves. Each block now 6.5 inches. When we finish sewing, it should be 6-inch block. Now it's 6.5 inches. We're making leaves for the quilt, for those who survived and lost their houses in wildfires in Tennessee, Gatlinburg. So, I told you what freezer paper is and how to prepare pattern and freezer paper piecing for it. Now, we have a pattern and you have a freezer paper, brown and white colors. Put together fabric pattern to glossy side of freezer paper. The settings on your iron is low, but you might want to adjust your iron. It could be nylon or silk. You can practice a little bit. And iron your paper to freezer paper. We will be using freezer paper as a pattern, not a paper where you have a printed pattern. This step right now will need a little attention, so you need to be careful seeing what we're going to do now. So we have brown and white pieces of freezer paper with attached pattern to both blocks. Now, I want you to fold each block by diagonal like this, both brown and white. Now, using the tracing wheel, I want you to trace every single line, using the ruler. Every line should be traced on your leaf, on both parts, this brown and white. If you don't have tracing wheel, you can use regular just seam ripper, making holes. We need to make perforation to transfer the pattern to the freezer paper. But the tracing wheel works just the best. It's very easy. You roll it and your lines all transfer it to the freezer paper. When this is done, the next step use your instructions with numbers and put the numbers on the freezer paper. We do not need the paper anymore. Now, after we trace the pattern on it, you can just peel it off and discard. I didn't say throw it away. You can give it to somebody. Somebody can use this pattern for more leaves. You can share it with anybody else. But we don't need pattern anymore. However, it can be ironed again to the freezer paper. But we don't use it for sewing. We will be sewing freezer paper template, which we just transferred. See these perforated lines? That's what we did. We transferred the pattern to freezer paper. And we put numbers according to the pattern. We put them on both brown and yellow, on both sides, right and left, right and left. Both numbers are the same, just symmetrically the same. They are symmetrical. So we have 3 pieces in 1, 3 pieces in 2, and 1 number 3. 1A, 1, 2, 1, 3. 2A, 2B, 2C. What do you say? 1A, 1B, 1C, and 2A, 2B, and 2C, and number 3. Our 2 patterns are ready. Why do we need 2 colors? When I fold the pattern, I have 1 part for the left side, another part for the right side. This is how our leaves made. left and right part. It's very important not to make the same right side or same left side for one block. We need to make one segment this way, the same segment mirrored, looking this way. So that's why we needed two of these pieces. Now, I want you to cut by diagonal both pieces. So you will have this part, and two these parts, and two these parts. When you do this, take your markers. This will help you. Markers or Crayola pencils. I take green and red color, and look what I did. I just put circles on one red, 3 green, 2B red, 2C green. This will help you if you just circle or mark them. Don't worry, it seems to be a little complicated or a little confusing, but this is the very important step to prepare our pattern for working. When you understand how to do it, when you get ready with this, you will be very pleased how easy to sew then. Especially when you sew the big quilt. If you want to use this pattern again and again, you don't need to print it out again. You already have it. So when you make one block, you just use the same pieces, sew another one, and another one, and you already have a pattern. So what we do now, we have brown and white, and another one, brown and white. 2 sets. As you see on the instruction here, we will be sewing together 1A, 1B, and 1C first. It will be this piece. And 1A, 1B, and 1C, the mirror part. Then we will be sewing 2A, 2B, and 2C, as instruction says. And the opposite side, 2A, 2B, and 2C, second one. And when you sew them together, when 1A and 1B, then you will sew this together and just attach number 3 to the bottom. When this will be sewn, you do the same thing with the brown part, mirrored part, 1, 2, 3, and you sew them together. So, what I want you to do now, do not cut one set. Leave them 3 in 1. I call them multiple block. It means 3 little blocks or 3 little segments in 1. Leave them on the paper. As well as number 2. Leave 3 of them on one paper. You will be using this one for the pattern when you start sewing block. But the second set, brown and white, mirrored, 2 mirrored, I want you to cut them all to pieces. You remove paper, we don't need any more paper. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and one more. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of each. And total would be 14 pieces. Now what I want you to do, put these pieces, which we just cut, all of these pieces, arrange them on the fabrics. Red go all on the red fabric, or orange, and green goes to the green. Now you can put your fabric right side down, and all your green pieces, green, 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 let's see, all your green pieces, you need to iron them to the fabric. The same with orange fabric. put it right side down, and using your miniature iron, attach your red pieces to the orange fabric. Very important, every piece, when you attach the pieces, very important to leave at least 1/4 inch on each side. We will need this 1/4 inch to put pieces together. Don't forget about it. This is very important. So you can arrange your pieces as you want. This way and this way. Just doing like mosaic, playing with these pieces. You just arrange them as much fabric you have. You can use small pieces, you can use different pieces, you can use one pieces there, one there. They not necessarily should be symmetrical like this. Like you can see, these and these fabrics are different, so you can arrange them this way, some symmetrical, some not. This also has two different fabrics. This fabric has the same top and the same sides, but it's up to you. You can make different arrangement. This different. And one more thing, if you do not have enough fabric, look at this. Sometimes you can just stitch together several pieces. Again, using freezer paper, you can attach one piece of fabric, fold it, attach another piece, stitch together, and you have one piece made out of two different pieces. If you just have smaller pieces, you can put them together. So what I want you to do now, prepare your pieces for stitching. And we will be continue stitching together all these pieces and making leaf. See you in my next video.